In this video, I want you to think with me, okay? I want you to really open your mind for a second, okay? Because, we're going to go and we're going to connect a bunch of dots and understanding how the markets move, why the markets move in the way they do, and we're just going to connect a lot of dots, okay? So the point of this video is to really get you to understand what's all really going on and have that breakthrough of why. Okay, so what I have in front of you is a nice little cartoon, very, very short, sweet, of just how the system works and how it's connected together. Okay, so in the very left side, you have traders. Okay, I want you just to pay attention to the top portion. Okay, so you have traders like you and myself. Okay, we place orders on MetaTrader 4, MetaTrader 5, any other broker you can think of. But the point is that there is a broker service that's receiving orders from you on what to do, and they're giving them to someone else. Okay, so just like you have in front of you, you have traders, forex broker, and your liquidity provider, and you see that little symbol on the top says bank. Okay, so remember that in your head. Okay, and that's an A book broker. A B book, okay, what the forex broker is doing is, they trade against you. Okay, you can see a lot more manipulation on the broker's side in a B book rather than an A book. Okay, but regardless, your liquidity provider can do some things as well. But these are your two setups. Okay, so what's going on when we start connecting the dots is this. Okay, so first let's really see who our top liquidity providers are. Okay, so down here you've got your top 10 currency traders. Think about it for a second. You might have heard that the markets move, X trillion dollars a day. Okay, when all of this was done, June 2019, I believe it was 6.6 trillion is the average day volume that comes in and comes out overall in the foreign exchange market. And if I can't find it, there it is. So average 6.6 trillion per day in April 2019. So we got the 6.6 trillion. I'm sure it's up more, way more, because of how much money is circulating that has been printed from now until then. But as of June, this can all be changed. But just think with me for a second. Really open your mind to really what's going on, because at this point, and if you don't, you're about to learn. But at this point, you've realized that there's so many different thinking models, how to approach the markets. There's so many different strategies. There's so many different indicators, memorization of candlesticks, shapes. Okay, just these patterns that print over and over again. And there's so many different approaches that are coming in and out of the markets. For example, when you see something, are you in the position? Does the market move against you? How are you feeling at that point? What are some ways that you're wanting to change while you are trading, thinking about getting in, getting out? Doesn't matter. The point is that constantly opinions are being changed every movement, every fundamental news release, every article that's released. There's just constant opinions being changed. But the point is you've got different classes of participants in the markets. And what I mean by that is how much money you have. Okay, because if we were to break this number down right here, think about it. And we're just going to say on a 5-day trading period. So $6.6 trillion a day on a 5-day trading period, $33 trillion. If we just do, say, average of 4 weeks in a month, it's $132 trillion in volume movement every month. Okay? It's just, don't go against any of this. Try to really break anything down right now. Just sit back and think, okay? Because we're really wanting to connect the dots on what's going on. Okay, so if we just said 132 trillion and JP Morgan makes almost 10% of that, okay, they're making up $13 trillion in the markets a month, okay, and that's just orders. So how would this really happen? Like if you were to think, okay, well, a point on one lot size is $1,000 contract, and you can keep going. A 0.10 standard, 10 standard, you're just going up 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, a million in contract sizes. Okay, but yet we're talking about 13 trillion, and that's just from one entity. So it's, how would they really participate in so much volume monthly? And the answer is they are the liquidity providers. And what that is really meaning is, there's always got to be someone at the opposite end of your trade. Okay, whether it's somebody else, whether it is the liquidity provider, but there's someone always at the opposite end of your trade. When you're buying, someone's selling. When you're selling, someone is buying. When your buy stop is trying to get in, there's a sell that mirrors the opposite end of your trade on your buy stop. Okay? When you take profit of your buy position, you're selling it back to the markets. Okay? When you have a sell limit waiting somewhere to get inside, say, a sell for Euro USD, when you sell, somebody buys. And so think about it. There's millions and millions of participants. But how big of a lot size do you think really exists? Okay? In past lessons, we've shown this trader 4 picture that's got, 500K lots, 1 million lots, 5 million. These lot sizes get so big, okay? And, there's special brokers out there that require, you know, a minimum amount of funds that is a very large number, and you get access to trading with huge lot sizes. Okay, and so what I mean by that is there's a bunch of different fish. Okay, whether you're, in the small group, in the hedge fund group, where just like we're talking about in the banks, liquidity providing those huge players. And so really think about this on a supply and demand level. Okay, and what I mean by that is an example right in front of you. Just look at every single price point. Okay, notice how they change per pipette. Okay, these micro pips, they're barely changing in price, but look at the size of these orders. And we're not even talking about, these are just limits. At that current time, when Euro USD was around 109.4, at this screenshot time, this was the size of the orders. Okay, at any point that can change. There can be a surplus come in, there can be a surplus that goes out. Okay, but the point of all this is, for one thing, big money, if they were to come in and execute large orders, it would start moving price because, as you can see, say a big order was to come in and wipe this board clean, price would have to move to fill that order no matter what. That's the point of a market execution. But the thing is that large players are having to approach the market in different ways, that they've got to shop for their orders differently. Okay? And the biggest experience that you can have that can contribute to this, because right now it's only words flowing into your ears. You're not experiencing any of this at all. You're just taking my word for granted about this. Okay? But what I want you to do is I want you to experience this somehow. Okay? In two ways that really I've done it. Okay? Is I've paid attention to something like this. You know, that picture that I was showing you of an order book for Euro USD, this is rare. Okay, we don't have public access to that. But something like on Bitfinex, okay, this is an order book for Bitcoin USD, okay, and we can see sitting orders. Okay, we have the amount per price. Okay, so here's the price. See how it's going down. Okay, and these are people willing to buy this amount, this amount, this amount, this amount on each price point. And as we go down, the total amount gets bigger. Okay, at certain price points, you'll get a chunk of orders. Okay, people will move their orders to block other people because at some point there can be a wall of buys, a wall of sells, and it's the same problem that large players face. Okay, dropping, a 5 million, 10 million lot on a certain price point and struggling to get their orders filled. Dropping a 50 mil lot, a 100 mil lot. These lot sizes get super big, but the whole point is you need to realize problems that these big players are facing and why they would want what I'm about to say to happen. Okay? So, I'm going to leave this up. Okay, I'm gonna leave this up right in front of you just so you can look at it. Uh, but I want you to really open your mind and think about this for a second. Okay, as we're growing up, and we pretty much all follow the same path. Okay, like really think about it. We were born, we grew up a little bit as babies, we started learning. Okay, we started going through this education system. Okay, and you know, if you didn't follow this path, that's fine, but I promise most people did, because this is the common choice, or like the common way of moving throughout your life. Okay, you start going to school. Okay, you start in pre-K, kindergarten, whatever, but you start learning this controlled education. Okay, and what I mean by that is I was think about something that's centralized and controlled. Okay, you could choose what goes in, what doesn't. Like the perfect explanation, the perfect example for this is, think about like an encyclopedia company. They hired people to do research to put information inside those encyclopedias, and you can pick and choose what goes in the encyclopedia, what doesn't. And that's the world that we live in, sadly. And so to tie that all back in, think about our education system. They pick what to teach us, what to not teach us. And so when we start thinking about money, we're not taught how to be successful when it comes to money. There's so many things that they were left out in our education system. And so what I mean by that is information is controlled and they kept certain things away from us. Okay? So if they control education, okay, over here in the United States, there's certain chemicals that are legal to be in our foods here, but they're illegal to be in other countries. That's crazy. Okay, so our food supply is controlled. Okay, the media. I mean, you can go look for yourself. There's so much proof about how all major media is controlled. They all fit the same agenda. Okay, religion. There's constant battles of religion. Which one's right, which one's wrong, suppressing other major religions. That's control. Politics, don't even get me started on politics. Okay, it's one of the most corrupt areas. So, and we can even argue about sports, professional sports being controlled. Okay, so the point of all of this is if everything is controlled in this manner, why wouldn't the information on the markets be controlled? They can control which books get published in popularity, right? Which books can go on certain platforms. Okay, and so the reason why we approach the markets in the way we do is we believe that the wrong information is being taught to the masses because somehow you've got to create liquidity to help the liquidity providers. Okay, and so that's the theory. So like really just connect all the dots for a second. Okay, this is why we approach it the way we do, and really think about this. The internet attracted so much more trading activity. So we're seeing numbers right now in liquidity that we've never seen before. There's so much trading activity to go on. How would you want to train the public eye if you provided that all the liquidity? In the world that we live in today, if they're not setting us up for success in the public education system, why would they set us up for success in the largest market in the world? Okay, and I love this quote. If everyone had $10 million, what would be the point of $10 million? This is how they keep us in this whole cycle of living, doing the same thing, working our way to making more money so we can live free. They don't want to teach us. They want to keep us enslaved. My name's Jordan. Stay safe out there.